A new poll in America has revealed that when it comes to Big Brother and Big Brother-style big government spying on your every move, that it seems Americans love it, much more than they thought they did. Australians certainly do. I mean, we knew that already. We're like the Canadians. We love having cameras on the street peeking into our personal space, our cars, and seeing whether we're on our mobile phones. We love handing over to banks the right to control our money and whether we're allowed to take out cash and how much. Those of us who support good old-fashioned classical liberalism, where we didn't hand all our freedom to the government so it can play mummy and daddies and keep us safe, we look to America and free states like Florida and Texas as the last bastions of small government, skeptical, good-thinking places on earth. But maybe not anymore after this piece from the Boston Globe's columnist Jeff Jacoby. He wrote this week about an opinion poll of 2,000 American adults by the think tank the Cato Institute, which asked the question, quote, would you favour or oppose the government installing surveillance cameras in every household to reduce domestic violence, abuse and other illegal activity? Jacoby said he was shocked by the results. 14% of the survey respondents, nearly 1 in 6, told the Cato Institute that they would favour such government surveillance inside their homes. Another 10% said they had no opinion either way. In other words, he notes, a quarter of those surveyed wouldn't object to the government watching and recording everything that they say and do. The scariest part was this though. Support for 24/7 surveillance was especially high among those younger than 30. 3 out of 10 adults born after 1993 said they would be fine with it. 30%. In George Orwell's classic novel 1984, which was written in 1949, there was an instrument called the telescreen. Orwell wrote that it could be dimmed, but there was no way of turning it off completely. You had to live in the assumption that every sound you made was overheard, and, except in darkness, every movement scrutinised. What a visionary Orwell was. Jacoby writes that in Orwell's book, the sinister telescreen reinforced the right of the state, symbolised by Big Brother, to see and hear everything. Private conversations, words written in a diary, a rendezvous with a lover. The government could keep tabs on all of it. And poor old Winston Smith, the protagonist of Orwell's novel, is no hero, of course. He's a weak and wistful man who resents the regime and is ultimately broken for it. The book's final words are among the most devastating in all of literature. He loved Big Brother. So maybe we will never have a fast and violent revolution as the communists dream, but worse, a slow, technology-driven creep into tyranny. The Cato Institute says they don't know how much this preference for security over privacy or freedom is something unique to the young generation or is simply the result of youth itself, but they hypothesize that Americans who grew up during the Cold War with an awareness of Soviet repression know how to spot the dangers of giving the government too much power to monitor people, whereas members of Generation Z came of age after the fall of the Berlin Wall and the collapse of the Soviet Union and haven't got a clue. But the Boston Globe's Jeff Jacoby is sceptical of that theory. He says totalitarian tyranny didn't vanish with the end of the Cold War and that, quote, monstrous governments in the 21st century are no less oppressive than the Soviet Union was in the 20th. Think of the cruelties inflicted by today's regimes in China, Iran or North Korea. He thinks a better explanation is that Gen Z or Gen Z has been indoctrinated to regard safety, not freedom, as the highest value, the highest good. So much so that many would rather be under the non-stop watch of the state than face the possibility of being abused or endangered. Jacoby writes that if so, they're in for a fearful awakening. What little protection they might gain from being under the authorities' constant watch is nothing compared with the peril they would face. And he quotes Benjamin Franklin's famous line, those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety.